He's like 50 years old. I mean, it's amazing. His understanding of where the punches are coming. Look at that counter. His understanding of, is that the dude he boxed?
Yeah, he's talking about the video.
Oh, let's hear him say it. What he said.
Oh my God, I didn't even see that. That was a big body shot, bro. He's coming.
And he touched you with that.
Yeah, just touched him. He's going to have an exhibition with Tyson, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mike is so much bigger than him.
Yeah,
he's
but
so much bigger than him.
he's not going to land a fist on Mayweather.
Right.
It's not after his last performance. You know, I think Tyson just needs
What do you
to
think was going on with that, the last one? It looked a little bit like sparring.
Floyd Mayweather goes through a demanding 6-round sparring session with a heavyweight partner while refining his abilities as he prepares for a showdown with Mike Tyson.
That's funny. That
If he wanted to take you down with that liver shot, he would have taken you down.
Yeah, easily. He's just tapping him up. But it's that guy's got a great sense of humor about it. It's very funny how he's laughing about it.
Floyd Mayweather moves with accuracy and concentration during sparring rounds, displaying smooth combinations, quick reflexes, and measured power that keep his training partners constantly alert.
You know, I mean, you got to think this guy is 50 years old. I mean, how old is Floyd now? He's got to be close to 50.
Got to be late 40s, 48.
Yeah, late 40s. But I mean, past his prime, and still just making millions of dollars fighting
Doing
people that have
exhibition
no
fights.
business. He's really brilliant. What he's doing is brilliant because he gets these guys to fight him. They have no business fighting him. He's making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He puts on a show. Did you see the one he did? I guess it was in Dubai? Where he took the ring card and he was walking around in between rounds holding the ring card.
Oh my God,
He
I
took
didn't
it
see
from
that
the ring
one.
card girl. He was just
Following that session, Floyd also sparred with another fighter. Even at 49, Floyd's speed, timing, and ring awareness remain remarkably sharp. It sends a warning to Tyson that Floyd is still performing at an elite level. Inside the camp, Floyd remains relentless, hitting the pads with precision and leaving no space for mistakes while stressing discipline, technique, and intensity in every movement. Perfecting every detail.
slide, and drop. Punch it, point it, here we go. Drop. Walking. Pitch it. 6. Punch it. Pitch it. Watch it. I step back like I have.
Joe Rogan comments on Floyd's smaller build compared with Mike's. However, Trent insists Mike's previous performance against Jake Paul shows he cannot land significant shots on Floyd.
Last one. It looked a little bit like sparring.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was scripted.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen Tyson biting his gloves, and like you could just, it was taking all that he could not to like hit him. It was just like, it's heartbreaking to see a icon go out like that.
Yeah.
You know, and
but it's crazy also to see him fight at 57 years old. Like, that's nuts.
But still, like, he shouldn't have been in there at all. You know, I think it's other ways.
Yeah.
You know, it's other ways for.
But what did he get?
People.
He got at least 20, right?
Yeah, but still, I think.
I think he needed
all
that money.
Yeah, but with all his connections and things like that, I think people could have put him in the right position to make some money.
If he's got people with him that are looking out for his best interest, but you know how it is. When there's a guy like that, that's a big name, usually everybody around him pretends they're looking out for their best interest, but there's always lawsuits later on. You find out someone was stealing money or not paying him what he deserved. There's always a bunch of bullshit.
Wade Plemons provides an in-depth analysis of the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson bout, explaining how revealing that contest was about Mike's present physical condition and overall preparation. Even when Jake approached the fight carefully and held back, Mike struggled to keep his normal dominance, showing obvious signs of exhaustion, slower reactions, and reduced punching strength.
Long as an ox, but how much can you really expect him to do anything versus Floyd? Couldn't really land on, he landed like 1 or 2 punches on Jake, but couldn't really do much with him. What's he going to try to do with Floyd Mayweather? Floyd's going to make him look silly in this exhibition, and it's going to look worse than what we saw with Jake because of, how small Floyd is. But Terrence Crawford said something interesting there as well. He said, I've never seen Mike Tyson bite his gloves like that. And I think Terrence Crawford is a pretty big historian of the sport. And I'm not saying he should know everything about it. I certainly don't. But Mike Tyson has indeed bit his gloves. And this is what Terrence is talking about. This was the narrative around the fight was that Mike Tyson was biting his gloves so that he wouldn't punch Jake in the face.
Clemens explains that these weaknesses act as a caution for anyone thinking about entering the ring with him at this point in his career. Turning attention to the expected fight with Floyd Mayweather, he stresses that Mike will confront a much tougher opponent. Unlike Jake, Floyd's style depends not on raw force but on accuracy, speed, timing, and technical skill. His combinations are deliberate. His precision is relentless, and his capacity to take advantage of an opponent's errors makes him a serious challenge for anyone, even a legend such as Tyson. According to Plemons, the matchup carries notable risk and could be unnecessary because it exposes Mike's weaknesses while giving Floyd a strong tactical advantage. He concludes that the fight is not only difficult. It is a contest that probably should not even take place considering the imbalance in readiness and style between the two fighters.
Great Teddy Atlas has spoken about this with Tyson and his career.
Questions out there, my son told me, about the thumb biting, okay? Thumb biting, right? And we're not talking about the thumb biting with your nephews or with your children or, with that stuff. We're talking about Mike Tyson biting his thumb during the car. First of all, that's something that he did in his amateur days, he did in his pro days, and now, of course, he did it again. That's something that he has done. And he's, for people that follow Mike Tyson, his career, they've seen it before. People are saying, oh, and Tyson's smart, he's witty. He knows what to say. He knows the image. He knows the importance of having that image, how important. And that's why he got all the money. It wasn't about what he had left at 58. It was what maybe he might have, and the image, the scary.
Jeff Mayweather explains why Floyd Mayweather's fights continue drawing attention and why particular matchups create so much conversation. He believes part of Floyd's lasting appeal comes from the idea that he often played the villain in boxing. Fans frequently felt that some of his wins, especially against major opponents, left doubts unresolved and created the feeling that the wrong fighter had won. Floyd's personality played a big role in shaping this image. He never avoided provoking crowds or making comments that increased dislike, and he consistently carried that tension throughout his career. According to Jeff, this intentional antagonism became a key reason fans stayed engaged, attending events and tuning in to follow the continuing story. He also notes that the bout with Manny Pacquiao serves as a clear example.
Do you like the fight as a matchup? I mean, it's not like Floyd's jumping in with someone who's been necessarily so active. I know Manny had a fight last year, but other than that, he was off for a while. So, yeah, what do you think of the matchup itself?
No, I don't think that the matchup is really off because, I mean, he fought Barrios, and I don't know if he had any more fights in between that or whatever. But the thing is that you got two guys that are, old for boxing, but it's good for them to be fighting one another. So, and plus they are two of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So, that part is easy to sell. That part is easy to sell. But the one thing is that it took a long time for that.
Many people believe the result did not fulfill the public's desire to see Floyd truly tested, which is why conversations about rematches or exhibition fights continue. Jeff highlights that this situation, with Floyd as the villain who repeatedly defeats challengers, fuels both excitement and financial success. Beyond offering commentary, Jeff is now concentrating on personal projects, including his new YouTube channel, Jeff Mayweather Official, and his clothing brand, Playhouse Athletic, which he views as a representation of his family legacy. Through these ventures, he keeps interacting with fans while promoting the wider Mayweather brand.
Boxing think that the wrong guy won. So that's why it's easy, because Floyd always was the bad guy. Once again, he's gonna be the bad guy. And I think that if there's any way to try to remove his O, it may happen.
Do you believe this is a comeback for more than one fight? Do you believe we'll see him for 3, 4, however many fights?
I don't know. I just think that the fight with him and Pacquiao is one of those fights, like I said, that the wrong guy won, and I think that's why this fight is still.
Ariel Helwani recently shared a detailed view of the current condition of professional boxing, pointing out how uncertain the landscape has become regarding major fights. He mentioned that many fans and even other commentators, including Carl Froch, often treat announcements about possible matchups as direct confirmations or approvals. However, the reality is far more complicated. Helwani explained that arranging major fights requires several layers of negotiation, planning, and timing that are rarely visible to the public.
Like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules. Exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting a... Forget all that. These things can get figured out. The fine details. The fact that it was announced... Why announce something with no date or location?
From contract clauses and promotional agreements to fighter availability and logistical considerations, numerous factors can delay or even stop a matchup from taking place. He stressed that his role is not to speculate carelessly, but to analyze and report developments in a professional manner, providing fans with a clearer understanding of the sport. According to Helwani, the excitement surrounding major names and flashy promotions can easily become misleading. Just because a fight is hinted at or talked about does not guarantee it will happen. Until contracts are officially signed and every detail is finalized, even the most anticipated events remain uncertain, and fans should manage their expectations accordingly.
trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again. I think if this match was made on the heels of Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., I think this would be blockbuster. I think people would be falling over themselves to consume this. After the Jake Paul version of Mike Tyson, I don't think anybody's going to be it.
Simon Jordan reacts to the recent developments surrounding Floyd Mayweather, expressing doubt about the excitement surrounding his upcoming bouts. He explains that while Mayweather's unbeaten record and professional reputation may appear attractive, in reality it does not add much for serious boxing fans. Jordan observes that even Manny Pacquiao's recent comeback against Mario Barrios exposed the limitations of fighters who are past their prime, revealing what remains of their abilities and endurance. He questions the logic behind Mayweather facing Mike Tyson, suggesting that such exhibitions are driven less by sport and more by entertainment. Jordan highlights the influence of platforms like Netflix in turning sport into a broader entertainment product by investing in high-profile events such as Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson or Anthony Joshua. Netflix measures commercial success through subscriber growth and audience engagement rather than pure sporting merit. He points out the financial motivations behind these decisions, noting how these fights attract enormous attention and revenue.
Any intrigue to this at all?
No. Not really, I don't think so. I mean, Manny Pacquiao's had a fight recently, hasn't he, against Mario Barrios, who's just lost his title to Ryan Garcia, deservedly so. And that was a draw in which most people saw Pacquiao at the end of his career, saw what was left of him, and were not too happy that he came back again. Floyd Mayweather has had a variety of different bouts. I mean, I hear that he's going to fight Mike Tyson. I don't understand what that thinking is. Or an exhibition. We've seen him fight and hold up Conor McGregor in an exhibition fight. It's Netflix building entertainment models around sports. Sport is entertainment. It crosses over. Netflix have got a proven model of success that ultimately they invest some money into these sort of things, whether it's Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson or Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. They'll look at their lifetime value of their average subscriber, not every subscriber, but their average.
According to Jordan, boxing today exists along a spectrum ranging from elite competition to media-driven spectacles where personalities, promotion, and audience engagement frequently outweigh athletic factors. He views platforms such as Netflix as accelerating this shift while creating opportunities for boxers and content creators while reaching a global audience. Even if purists consider some matchups unnecessary or arriving too late in a fighter's career, Jordan acknowledges that the business model works, expanding boxing's reach and its financial ecosystem.
Apply it by the amount of subscribers they think they're going to get as new ones, and they make a commercial decision.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because everything that they've done so far is massive, and this obviously will be a talking point. I mean, Anthony Joshua's knockout victory over Jake Paul in December wasn't something that the boxing fraternity wanted, but it appears to be that they understand what people want, what the rest of the community wants, and actually, I don't know if that's the algorithm or just good research or just good instincts, but they do great numbers.
They have a 300 million subscriber base around the world, bigger than that now. I think the growth on the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fights, I think they got 2 million subscribers out of it, new subscribers. Now, irrespective of whether some of those subscribers churn or don't stay for a long period of time, the average Netflix subscriber is worth $900. Some will be worth $1,500, some will be worth $29.99. But the average Netflix subscriber is worth $9.
And then they multiply it by the number of subscribers they believe they will gain as new ones, and they make a commercial decision. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because everything they have done so far has been massive, and this will obviously become a major talking point. I mean, Anthony Joshua's knockout victory over Jake Paul in December was not something the boxing fraternity necessarily wanted, but it appears they understand what people want, what the wider community wants. And actually, I do not know whether that comes from an algorithm, careful research, or simply strong instincts, but they deliver impressive numbers. They have a subscriber base of around 300 million worldwide, perhaps even larger now. I believe the growth from the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight brought them around 2 million new subscribers. Regardless of whether some of those subscribers eventually cancel or remain only briefly, the average Netflix subscriber is valued at about $900. Some may be worth $1,500, while others might be worth only $29.99. So the average Netflix subscriber holds a value of about $900. Max Kellerman reflects on Floyd Mayweather's career, highlighting how dominant and strategic he was both inside and outside the ring. He explains that Floyd mastered the importance of timing, carefully selecting when to fight and, just as importantly, when to avoid certain opponents. Instead of facing fighters at their peak, Floyd often waited for opportunities that increased his advantage, securing high-profile bouts and generating enormous financial success. Kellerman recognizes that Floyd transformed boxing in a way that benefited the sports elite but also frustrated fans who hoped to see the most competitive matchups.
Did beat Pacquiao, and nobody has changed the game like Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
in
a bad way. In a bad way. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. But he was so great and so dominant. I can't do that.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in making money and making all the the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight. He did.
100%.
He didn't fight Paul Williams, so we all wanted to
So
see.
he changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had to break that right with Tank. I made sure we.
Yeah,
made
you
that
broke
fight.
the protecting the old.
We did.
He points out that Floyd's approach was revolutionary. Rather than allowing fans and networks to take advantage of him, he reversed the dynamic, using their expectations to his own advantage. This strategy, while brilliant for Floyd, sometimes left fans feeling disappointed because the fights were not always as competitive as expected. Kellerman emphasizes that Floyd's ability to navigate both the business and athletic sides of boxing is unmatched, giving him a strong case as one of the greatest fighters in history. However, Kellerman adds that while Floyd may have been the best at playing the boxing game, his dominance was shaped as much by strategy and timing as it was by his talent inside the ring.
Thank you very much.
You got a bag for that.
I had a little, incentive.
But I mean, Floyd has even told me before the Pacquiao fight. He said, "Look, TBE, the best ever. You want to talk about inside the ring? Someone else could have that." Now, Floyd, I'm sure thinks it's him, and he has a hell of a case. Floyd is he has an argument for best fighter ever. Right. I just don't have him number one. But what he said was, I'm talking about the whole game. He's right. Floyd played the boxing game better than anyone ever played the.
Subscribe to Boxing Pulse, like, comment, and share for more boxing content.